Okay, so we're really diving deep today into the world of reggae. Have you heard of Novelty?
Oh yeah, she's making waves right now, especially after this latest album.
Yeah, Survivor.
Yeah.
Hitting #1 on the South Florida Reggae Album Chart.
Not an easy chart to top, let me tell you. Especially considering, this is only her second album.
Right, and it's been, what, 8 years since her debut?
8 years, that's a serious gap. Shows you something about her dedication.
It really does. That's persistence right there. And speaking of which, Survivor, the title itself, very fitting.
She's spoken about this, actually, how making the album was a whole journey, lots of collaboration, trust, needing that creativity to keep going.
So it's more than just the music, it's the whole process, the business side of it too, I imagine.
Exactly. Navigating all that, finding your voice again after such a long break, that's where the Survivor part really comes through, I think.
And she had some big names backing her up too, right? Didn't her husband produce the album?
He did, Howard Perry. Part of P&N Publishing, really talented guy. And get this, he plays trumpet. Actually lends his skills to the album, too.
Wow, talk about a power couple. That's got to be a special kind of creative energy in the studio.
For sure. And they brought in Hopeton Lindo to produce as well. Now we're talking reggae royalty.
Lindo, his sound is just so iconic.
Yeah.
Instantly recognizable, those rhythms, the message in the music.
And you can hear that influence throughout Survivor. 6 of the songs actually topped the South Florida chart.
6 songs from one album. That's huge. We've got to talk about those. But first, this South Florida chart, what makes it so significant?
It's the reggae chart. It's the Florida, sure, big Caribbean influence there. But this chart, it resonates internationally.
So it's like a pulse check for the entire reggae scene, not just a local thing.
Exactly. You top that chart, the whole reggae world knows your name.
No wonder Novelty's celebrating. That's incredible.
She deserves it. She said reaching #1 was this gratifying feeling. And honestly, listening to Survivor, you can hear it.
Well, let's get into it. What are some of these chart-topping tracks?
Oh, man, where to start? Tough. Like a Diamond is a big one.
Okay, just the title alone, you get that sense of resilience, ties into the whole theme.
Right. And it makes you wonder how much of her own story is woven into that song. Music's great for that.
Speaking of stories, what about 2 Makes 1? That's another one that charted, right?
Yep. And it's got this really cool back and forth, different voices, instruments playing off each other, real collaborative vibe.
Oh, I like that. Then there's the cover of the Emotion song, So I Can Love You. Bold move, taking on a classic.
And she nails it. It's like she's got this whole other side to her music, not just straight reggae, but pulling from soul, too.
Blending genres, drawing inspiration from all over, that's what makes for a unique sound.
And it clearly works. This album, this whole journey she's been on, it's captivating people, locally and globally, and that says a lot.
It really does make you wonder, what is it about reggae that speaks to people across so many cultures?
It's the vibe, man. It's in the music itself, right? Reggae's got that history, those themes of social justice, fighting back, coming together. Those speak to a lot of people, no matter where you're from.
And at the same time, it's about letting go, finding joy, connecting with people. It's a powerful mix.
No doubt. And you mentioned South Florida. They've really embraced that. What is it about that place? It's like reggae central down there.
Well, you've got the Caribbean influence, obviously, being so close geographically. Latin America, too. Melting pot of sounds?
It's more than that, though. They've built their own scene down there, Sound systems, festivals, a whole community that gets it.
So it's like a proving ground, in a way. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
Kinda, yeah. The fans there, they know their reggae. Novelty success, it's not just about the music, it's about tapping into that whole world.
It's about belonging, being understood. Which, let's face it, after 8 years away, that's got to feel good.
Totally. And think about it, that 8-year gap, all those choices, the work behind the scenes. We only see the final product, the hits, but there's so much more to it.
Right, the grind, the setbacks, all those moments of doubt. You need serious resilience to make it in music, especially a genre as competitive as reggae.
No kidding. And it's not just on the artist either. The producers, collaborators, everyone's putting in the work. Speaking of, we have to talk about the Bob Marley cover on the album, Satisfy My Soul. Bold move.
Talk about pressure. That's a reggae anthem right there. Why that song, do you think? Personal connection, maybe?
Could be. Or maybe a way to introduce herself to a wider audience, folks who already love Marley. But honestly, it just works. She makes it her own.
That's the key, isn't it? Paying homage to the roots, but still bringing something fresh, something new.
Exactly. And that's novelty all over, you know. She's grounded in tradition, but not afraid to experiment. Those soulful vibes we talked about, her own stories, all mixed in.
And that mix, that's what resonates with people. It's authentic.
Exactly. Her story is pretty inspiring, actually. From August Town to topping the charts, it shows that evolution, that drive. You need that to stick with a creative passion.
It makes you think, how many other artists are out there doing the same thing? Grinding, hoping for that break.
Tons, probably. Music's full of them. For every novelty that makes it big, there's hundreds still at it, still believing. That's what makes it exciting, though, right? Always something new to discover.
And that discovery goes both ways, right? The artist discovers things about themselves, too, with each album, each show.
Totally. It's a journey, no doubt. And novelty embodies that beautifully. It's about perseverance, yeah, but it's bigger than that. It's about music's power to transform for the artist and the listener.
There's something about music, certain sounds, rhythms, that just hit us deep down, wouldn't you say?
It's primal, almost. Like music bypasses language, goes straight to something shared in all of us.
Like a universal language. It's emotion, shared experiences, struggles, joy, all of it, connecting us across cultures.
And for novelty, that language speaks of resilience, working together and never giving up on your dreams. That journey, from August Town to the top, that's proof that anything's possible. With enough passion, a bit of rhythm, and maybe, just maybe, a trumpet-playing husband by your side.
That's true. You hear a certain song and it just stays with you, crosses borders, all that.
It's wild, right? Like novelty, her music's reaching people thousands of miles from Jamaica, connecting them to something bigger.
And finding that community, that's got to be huge for an artist, especially in a genre like reggae. We talked about the South Florida chart, how influential it is.
Yeah.
But what's the real impact on a career hitting #1 like that?
Oh, it's massive. Doors open, you know, bigger stages, festivals, even international tours. Your visibility in the reggae world just explodes. But it's more than that, right? It's the fans, especially in South Florida, where reggae is like woven into the culture.
It's a validation, that feeling of, these are my people, they get it.
Exactly. And for novelty, after 8 years, that must feel incredible. All that work she put in, it paid off.
8 years is a long time to keep the faith, to keep honing your craft.
No kidding. There's got to be those moments, you know, the doubts, the setbacks. But her story, it's inspiring, man. She never gave up.
It's a good reminder for all of us, whatever we're passionate about. It's not always going to be easy. There'll be bumps in the road, but you got to stick with it.
Absolutely. Find that thing that lights you up and don't let it go. That's what novelty did. From August Town to chart topper, that's an amazing journey.
It really is. And it makes you wonder, what other stories are out there just waiting to be heard? What new sounds, new fusions are brewing right now?
That's the beauty of music, right? It's never ending. There's always something new to discover. Some artists pushing boundaries, blending genres, telling their truth.
And as we listen, we get to be part of that journey, that evolution of sound and storytelling. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It really is. Novelty's story reminds us that music has this power to connect us, to inspire us, no matter who we are or where we come from. It's a universal language that speaks of resilience, hope, and the power of dreams. So next time you hear a song that moves you, remember Novelty's journey and let it inspire you to pursue your own passions, no matter the obstacles. Because with enough heart, a little bit of rhythm, and maybe a trumpet-playing husband by your side, anything is possible.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of reggae, and a huge congrats to Novelty on her well-deserved success. We can't wait to see what she does next.